finally back. I finally figured out how to do this. Those of you who don't know, and those of you who can't tell, I'm still suffering the ravages of the common cold. And this has been a long suffering cold, I have to tell you. Basically got it on Holy Week, and then finally started coming out of it, and then got a complete relapse, or perhaps a whole completely different cold, but it had the same effect of basically ruining my vocal cords as well as my sleep. But hopefully this will translate into airwaves well enough, because I kind of feel like I'm on this long enough. But what a month it's been. I injured my knee while I was hiking on my daily constitutional, and that was painful for quite a while, and that finally was lifted today, and I went on my first constitutional, my annual walk, and he feels better now, thank God. It took about a month. Well, see, what happened was that it was really cold, right, and the wind was like 15 miles per hour, and I'm walking up a hill, and I'm like, really, I can take this hill double time. I don't have to be like one step, two step. Let me go double time. Big mistake. Don't, when you're 39 years old, at least, it's a big mistake to try to do that up a hill. So we've got a couple of bottles of water here. We've got a cough drop in case my voice does give out to some extent. But we are going to try to cover at least a couple of topics that I missed in the interim. And also, maybe probably the last to wish you a happy Easter. We had a very happy and blessed Easter around Torch residence. So that was lovely, and I hope everybody else had a very blessed Easter as well. First order of business, like we like to do here on the Junction program, is to alert your attention to this stellar tome. This is the new issue that is going to be out pretty soon. Hopefully, I am so sick of saying it, hopefully it'll be out soon, because I want to get this book out the worst way right now. It feels like it's taking me forever. I don't know why. I think part of it is, when you're doing the job yourself, like I have to do, and I honestly don't have anyone else working on the book but myself at the moment. I call it some help to get the file produced. That's about it. I do it all myself. And that's a blessing and a curse, because on the one hand, you get to do everything yourself. It comes the way you want it. The curse is you've got to do everything yourself, And it kind of comes to a head when you start second guessing things. It's like, is this really ready to go out? Let me check again. Because, that's always sort of what happens when you're done with a book, is you have it printed and everything is fine, and then you come back to it, like, it could be anything, 6 weeks later to 3 months later to a year later, and then you kind of go back and say, I kind of wish I had that part to do over again. That's just the way it is, And I'm trying to catch a lot more of those things now than, regretting it after the fact. I basically had to redraw Bullet's shoulder and right arm in one scene yesterday, because I'm saying, well, does that really look that, like, as good as it could be? And the same thing with, like, is that set of eyes too far apart or too close together? And there comes a time when you have to say, this is as good as I'm going to get it. You know what I mean? I could second guess myself every panel of every page, and this could go on forever. At a certain point, I don't care how good or bad you are, you have to accept what you've done and say that's it. Now, you want to catch as many of them that are glaringly, yeah, let me take another crack at that. But, I've always felt that, you don't want to overproduce the project. You know what I mean? I don't know about anybody else, but I went on rants on Twitter on this for a long time, and I don't want to get too deep into this, because this will be a rabbit trail that'll go on for infinity, but I've got to address this stuff eventually. But I think there is sort of there's a pompousness in the indie comics community that kind of thinks that there can be perfection in comics. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, when I was picking up Spider-Man, when I was picking up Hulk, these are some of my favorite comics, Batman, Superman, I can name a bunch of them, but there were artists that I did not thoroughly appreciate. These were professional artists, and I wasn't crazy about their style, but I still bought the book because I still want to read Spider-Man, still want to read Hulk, and I feel like people have got this unnatural line of perfectionism that they have to reach. And, I'm never going to get there. You're never going to get there. The greats, they really didn't get there if you asked them. We look at them now and say, well, what they did was fantastic. But, honestly, if you asked them at the time, they'd say, hey, it's all right. I did the best I could with the time frame I had to do it. And that's kind of the way it is for everybody. You know what I mean? Comic artists and indie comics in particular, very, very hard on themselves. Very, very hard on others. There's only so far you can do. There is no perfection. And if you think there is and you think you're going to achieve it, you're just kidding yourself. Because, the best you can do is the best you can do. And you hope the other guy likes it and sees it the same way. That's basically all there is. I could rant, I could go on. Like I said, my voice ain't going to hold out. Hopefully it does for at least close to an hour. But please check out The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. Casebook 11, Man of Our Times, will be coming out pretty soon. And I will pause for a second here to put a lozenge in my mouth. If give me a second. All right. Now, this one is the second part of the Man of Our Times arc. Pencil Neck, of course, one of the great villains of the Bulletsburn saga, is back, and he's out. And he's out legitimately. He has reportedly turned over a new leaf. Bullets, of course, doesn't believe this for a moment. Of course, he has good reason not to, because he was mad as a March hare before his release. Anyway, there's the possibility that he's regained his powers thanks to the shifty-looking man behind the corner there, a mad scientist named Dr. Chrome Dome. And is his powers restored? Is Pencil Neck still a danger to the community, or is he now going to be a productive member of society? Well, you'll have to find out in the second part of that arc, the Man of Our Times, trilogy, three-parter, whatever way you want to look at it. This is a real fun story. This is one, like I said, this is sort of my Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, after my Star Trek 3 and Star Trek 2, with the last two stories I've done. Pretty heavy material. I mean, there's always comedy in a Bulls Bourbon book, but I mean, a lot heavier themes we were dealing with. Betrayal, obsession, heartbreak. In this case, I just wanted to have some fun. Just wanted to have some laughs. This is not going to change the world, probably, this storyline, but it's fun, and that's the reason why I thought it was the best time for it. Because, again, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I don't have a Pencil Neck story ready to go after this one for quite a while. This is the last storyline in Season 1, and Season 2 doesn't have a scheduled Pencil Neck story. So I was considering holding this one off, as I could have done. But the second season is really going to change things. I don't say that in an ominous way, but we are taking things in a different direction, kind of. The stories will continue to evolve. We'll add more characters. Of course, a lot of new villains will be revealed, which, as you see in the prologue there, we did. The General. I almost said his real name, but we're only calling him the General now until we officially reveal his title, which will not be in this book, but will be in the subsequent issue. All right, so yeah, check out the link in the description below. Thank you for your patronage, for those of you who have. I haven't updated yet, but I've got to do an update on how the Global Comics is doing. We're doing Global Comics now. Bulletsburn is on Global Comics, and we just recently put the third story arc up, which is When Night Comes. And that is also, of course, a favorite story of mine, where Bullet's pressed into the Secret Service. He's a secret agent for the time being, and has to serve his country by taking out both Carrot Top and Pencil Neck. So we will get on to that on Global Comics, and you can check it out. Let me know what you think. Again, I love to talk about the book all day, but my voice won't let me. So let's get to some of the stories that we have just been whittling away our fingers, and we're going to see what happens. All right, let's see. What first we got here? Okay. Hooray, Ray's coming back. That's right. We're not going to talk about that story first, though, unfortunately. But thank you for being here. And once again, I apologize for my voice. Let's see. First, we're going to talk about, this was a big story that, let's see, Jonathan Majors. What the heck happened with Jonathan Majors? Now, this story happened a couple of weeks ago, Let me see if I can bring up the notes here. Let's see. Alright, so the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania star Jonathan Majors. He's arrested for apparently harassment and abuse and so on and so forth. Now, the public at large has been going out of their way to cancel him. Now, if you know me in any way, shape, or form, I don't believe in cancel culture at all. So I think, the guy's got to have his day in court. He's got to have a chance to prove himself. As a famous man once said, we always need to hear both sides of the story. Of course, that was Phil Collins. So, I don't know why this rush to judgment, because as far as I know, again, I don't have all the facts here in this report, but apparently the woman sort of backtracked and didn't want to press charges. And now they're saying that Major's lawyers or whatever is suggesting that he was defending himself when the woman, who was thought to be Major's girlfriend, attacked him in an effort to steal his phone. Now again, like the Amber Heard case taught us, men can be victims of abuse too. It could be that he was defending himself. Did he take it too far, perhaps? I don't know. We don't know the details of this, and that's the point. We really don't know enough about what's going on in the story to really kind of gauge, what should happen here. Because a lot of movies are supposedly dumping him, and he's not getting the traction that he was once enjoying in Hollywood. So again, we've got plenty of chances here to see what the story is, what's going to happen. I don't know if he is guilty. I'm sure that Marvel will probably dump him. So far, from what I hear, Marvel is not dumping Majors. That they're still intending to go forward with him as Kang. And the Kang Dynasty, they're reporting that he's probably going to get $20 million for playing Kang. So it looks like it's going to happen. Let me know what you think in the description below, or in the chat if you're still there. Let me know what you think about Jonathan Majors. Is this pretty much killed his career? Because he was building up a huge career this year alone. Nabbing the role of Kang. He had a big role in Creed 3, which I thought was a very good movie. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Check it out. Let me know. Alright. Let's go straight to another story we got here. Let's see. Alright, so this is kind of adjacent to both what we were talking about between Jonathan Majors and the Rey returning to Star Wars. We also have Adam Driver, the old muttonhead himself. He's apparently the front runner to play Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. This is according to a reliable insider via Patreon, Daniel Richmond. They're saying he's in final talks to play Mr. Fantastic. He's previously been rumored to be in contention along with several other actors. There was also some talk of him being in line to play Doctor Doom. Actually, I would probably rather see him play Doctor Doom, but Doctor Doom needs to be an unknown. He needs to be a voiceover actor. Because you don't want to have the mask come off every 5 minutes. And that's what they'll do to Doom. They'll ruin him. So, I say get a nobody. Now, I don't know, Adam Driver is sort of the unconventional looking lead actor. Everybody seems to get him for these roles, and he doesn't really look anything like any of these characters should. I really didn't buy him as Han Solo's son. I didn't buy him as Reed Richards. It's just, I don't know. The mute button is getting a workout here today, and I apologize for this whole show. But, I need to get in with the show here. I can't just take off. Who do I think I am? And just keep taking off days from my, you know, broadcast. I just can't do it. I got to do a show. As poorly conceived the idea. All right, so what do you think about Adam Driver? I mean, what else can I say? I don't see him as Reed Richards. I suppose there are worse choices. I mean, at least he's white, I guess. I mean, that's kind of my first thought, because everybody was acting like it's going to be, Giancarlo Esposito or somebody. I don't know. I mean, I guess if they go with him, there's at least a shot at him looking like a comic book version of Reed. Why they don't want to stick with John Krasinski or whatever that kid's name was that did Multiverse of Madness, I don't know. He seemed fine to me. I didn't really think he needed the beard, to be honest, but he was playing an alternate version of him from an alternate universe or something. So there's that. I mean, bring Krasinski back or whatever his name was. I would have been happy just to see that, but to each his own. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Adam Driver would play a good Reed Richards? I think I heard Mila Kunis, how do you pronounce her name, from that 70s show, that she's being rumored as the Invisible Woman / Sue Storm / Sue Richards. Again, I don't really see these casting choices. I mean, there seems to be better choices out there. They really need to broaden their search, so to speak. Alright, let's get to the big story now. This is the story we're all so excited about. I'm really excited about this myself. Somehow, Rey Palpatine returned. And apparently they're bringing back Rey Skywalker / Palpatine in the new movies. I think there's 3 announced that they're going to do. And let me get to the copy here. Let's see. Alright, so of the 3 movies, 3 were confirmed during Star Wars Celebration. The Mandalorian executive producer Dave Filoni is set to helm a tale set in the New Republic timeline that serves as a culmination of the various Disney Plus shows. So that sounds interesting. To me, that's the most interesting of this. I mean, this is going to take, I guess, the early New Republic, and it's going to, tie in, I'm hoping, post Return of the Jedi Luke with The Mandalorian, with, I guess, what Ahsoka's show is going to wind up being, which is kind of like Rebels 2.0, along with, wasn't there another one? I think it was supposed to be another one. They canceled that show, I think. The Riders of the Range, the Range Riders of the New Republic or something. I don't know. As a matter of fact, I was actually going to talk Mandalorian here. I don't know. I think I'll save that for a separate video because I think my voice still won't hold out for that yet. But with that season over, I do have a few thoughts, and I was going to get into it here. But again, it's also, spoilers, and so I should wait. But, what's the other movie? Let's see. The other movie is Indiana Jones 5 director James Mangold's project, telling the story of the first Jedi ever to wield the Force. Now, to me, that's a mistake. Everybody always goes, well, I'm through with the Skywalker line. I don't want to go around with Skywalkers anymore. Let's get into the Knights of the Old Republic and this and that. No. I don't believe that. I want to stay closer to, the Skywalker lineage. That's, to me, the whole Star Wars. I don't really care about what they were doing 5,000 years before Luke was born. I want to see what happens to Luke after Return of the Jedi. I want to see, that's part of the problem. It's that they so stymied whatever stories they could tell because they just want to kill off Han fast. They wanted to kill off Luke fast. Princess Leia had no choice, but it's difficult. It's difficult now to tell a story about Skywalkers when you just brush them under the rug, and now you've got this pretender doing a movie about her. But we'll get to that in a second. But again, I don't like this because another thing that happens is people will start saying, you know, I mean, like people complained about the midi-chlorians. Oh, they ruined the mystery of the Force. They're midi-chlorians now, and they're giving a scientific explanation for the Force. What do you think is going to happen when we do this origin picture of the Force? They're going to tell us all there is to know about the Force. They can't even get the Force right in the sequel trilogy. The Force doesn't act like the way they had it acting. You know, with all these weird changes and Force powers that they created. Don't even get me started there. I couldn't possibly go through it all right now. But the fact is, you're going to have them telling you things about the Force now that you know are not true. And they're just going to make up crap. It's really not, it's really not beneficial to anyone to have this movie made. So that's another thing. Now let's talk about this one here, the Skywalker, whatever, Rise of Skywalker sequel. Kathleen Kennedy, confirmed. It's 15 years out from Rise of Skywalker, so we're post-war, post-First Order, and the Jedi are in disarray. What Jedi? There's a lot of discussion around who are the Jedi, what are they doing, what's the state of the galaxy, and Rey's attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order based on the books, based on what she promised Luke, and that's where we're going. I don't know if we'll spend a lot of time in flashbacks or on Force ghosts or things like that, but certainly the spirit of what he represents to her is going to be significant, meaning Luke Skywalker. Well, I don't know. I mean, they had so many paths they could have gone down. They actually chose to do this. Now, we did hear some rumblings of this before, didn't we? They were saying they're going to bring R2 back, they're going to bring Rey back, they're going to try to introduce a new character, they're going to try, I don't know. Rumor also has it that they're going to try to bring John Boyega back to the role of Finn. This was rumored from John Roca. He says, John Boyega has buried the hatchet with Kathleen Kennedy and is in negotiations to return to the galaxy far, far away. It says here, Roca and Jeff Snyder note that Rey will not lead the project, but will likely be utilized in more of a Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi mentor capacity. Alright, I don't know what you do with this here. I mean, I think Rise of Skywalker was probably the worst received Star Wars movie ever. The problem is these sequel trilogy movies all made billions of dollars because idiots that liked them, they went and saw them, multiple times. And then there was idiots like us who went to see them just to bash them. I mean, not originally. I mean, like, the die was cast with Last Jedi. I don't really know why anybody went to see, Rise of Skywalker, except to see a train wreck and hopefully you could see that, the bodies weren't destroyed in the train crash. You know what I mean? I really don't understand exactly what people were thinking, because everybody boycotted Solo. And Solo to me was passable. I mean, I always say this. It's like, it's mid. I mean, it felt like they were giving it a shot, but I mean, they really didn't, they didn't do themselves very proud, let's put it that way. So, I don't know. So, when you're giving them billions of dollars, it's kind of like them, it's telling them, look, let's wait a little while. Let's give, Daisy Ridley and John Boyega a chance to cool down, because God knows they probably weren't that excited about coming back initially. But now they got a big payday coming their way. Why not? Why wouldn't you do it? You get to play in the greatest universe in fiction. You get probably a dump truck of money coming in front of you because Disney's got more money than, whatever. I'll just leave that one hanging. And why not? Why not do it? You gotta go for it. But where does that leave us as the fans? I mean, Star Wars fans are never going to be satisfied. That goes on to another rant that I'm going to do with The Mandalorian. But the one thing that I think Star Wars fans all agreed on, whether you were a prequel trilogy fan, whether you were a, original trilogy purist, whether you were, I like the Clone Wars TV show and some of the stuff they're doing there, all of it. Everyone agreed that the sequel trilogy stunk, and it was horrible, and we should bury its remains somewhere far out in the wilderness, never to be mentioned again. And that's the excruciating thing about this, is they decided this is the thing that we're bringing back. Why? I don't know. I mean, for me personally, give me the Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi show right after Return of the Jedi. Give me the deep fake Mark Hamill. It was good enough in Mandalorian. Within the next couple of years, the AI is getting better every day. Give me the Return of the Jedi TV show. You know, Mark Hamill can still have something to do with it. You know, and then you tie in, you know, we can get a deep fake AI Princess Leia and Han Solo and Lando Calrissian every once in a while, every couple of episodes. But just show Luke building the Jedi Order. That's what we want to see. I don't want to see Rey building the Jedi Order. It's like they literally took Luke's storyline after Return of the Jedi, made him irrelevant, and then brought Rey into that role. It's stupid. I don't know why they did it. Another thing I wanted to mention is, of course, a lot of people are putting up this image of Rey being pregnant. I don't know why people are like, seriously, it's clickbait. They're not going to make Rey pregnant, and I think this is just sort of the shipping thing that everybody was excited about. You know, Kylo Ren and her, or maybe some of them are Finn and her, whatever. They're not going to go there. This is all like feminist stuff. I don't see them ever approaching having a lineage through Rey. I could be wrong, but I think this is just like a lot of clickbait, so I wouldn't buy anybody doing any of that stuff on their videos. You know, it was a doctored image to begin with, because I mean they haven't shot anything yet. I mean, as far as I know. But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think there should be? I mean, because there is like playing devil's advocate. Do you think they could salvage the sequel trilogy in such a way as, all right, it's bad. Sequel trilogy is bad. But if we ignore that and we try to build on what we left, that now we've got a next generation, and we've got Rey representing the Jedi, and we've got Finn finally becoming a Jedi, which, at the very least, hopefully they'll shut up all the complainers that act like he was old being a Jedi, and they probably won't. They can't stop complaining. Everybody complains about everything. But anyway, you know, if you want to sort of say, because to me that's kind of like what they're trying to do. Now, I haven't watched Picard, and there's this big controversy that there's a lot of diehard fans saying that Picard Season 3 was fantastic. A lot of diehard fans saying Picard Season 3 was terrible. And I kind of feel, and having not seen it, and I'm not really a deep next-gen guy, I'm fair weather next-gen fan. But I feel like this is kind of like what, you know, when you had the first and second season being bad, and then they do a good third season, there's a temptation to say, well, it's still bad because the first two seasons were terrible. And I kind of feel like that's what you're walking into with this new Rey trilogy or whatever it's going to be. Is people are still going to say, well, all right, maybe they did do right in some ways, and this is building up to be something interesting, and Finn is learning how to use the Force and this and that. But those first three were still terrible. It's like, at what point do you have to jettison what came before and say, all right, those were bad, and there's not really nothing we can do about it now, because they exist. But going forward, where can we go? You know, it depends. I think there's something to be said for that. But, you know, in the case of Picard, you had, you know, decades of love and trust in those characters and everything. And what I think Picard succeeded in doing, where the sequel trilogy failed, is in that third season, apparently, they did bring everybody back together again. They did show that everybody is still competent and can still do their thing, and, you know, that's kind of like what everybody was hoping the sequel trilogy would be. We'd see Han, Leia, and Luke together again. We'd see Luke as a competent Jedi. I mean, we got that in the last, in Return of the Jedi, the last original trilogy movie. But, they couldn't build on that. They just completely, deconstructed it. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And it's kind of, it's interesting, but I don't see it going very far. I don't think they're going to get the success they think they're going to get with this. And if they do, it's probably just the case of, this new generation of fan, this new Disney fan, doesn't have any kind of, fidelity to the originals. I think that's kind of what the problem is being. Now, in my case, I'm very excited because I have just got tickets to see Return of the Jedi for its 40th anniversary. Wait a second. I think I lost something here. Yeah, press the wrong one for a second there. Oh yeah, so we got tickets for the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary showing. And I'm very excited about this because, as many of you know, that's my favorite movie of all time. Return of the Jedi was the first live-action movie I went to see. And I was blown away. Now, I didn't get to see it when it came back up in movies in the 90s, when you did the special editions. I've seen Star Wars, A New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back, but I never got to see Jedi back then because of a time thing. Back then it was the same thing. It was only for 2 weeks, I think, and you don't have that much money, and I think it came out around Easter. It was a difficult time to go see it. But in this case, I think it's only up for a week, but I want to make sure I got to see it again. In 40 years, it's been since I've seen that movie. Amazing. And I'm really looking forward to it. We're also going to be seeing Mario Brothers. That's the, I waited a little bit to see this one. It's been up the movies for a couple of weeks now. I really haven't played Nintendo since I was like 12 years old. So I really don't know what they've done with Mario since then. I mean, I never played Mario Kart and all that stuff. I just remember, like, Mario Brothers, 1, 2, and 3, after he became, like, a flying raccoon or something. So I don't really have a whole lot of preconceived ideas for this other than kind of what I remember from Mario as a kid. But I want to see it, and I think it's doing very well. I'm really happy that it's doing so well because it looks very well made. The animation looks great. All right, so I think I've kept you people long enough listening to this sad state of affairs with my voice. I think it held up reasonably so, considering I only had a couple of topics here. I don't want to push my luck any further. But, yeah, remember to check in on us. I try to do, for those of you who are new here with the show, I try to do a show. Operative word being try. I try to do a show every Saturday. The only way to spend your Saturday is here with us. That's our tagline. And, we do the best we can in pop culture and basically whatever interests me. We, of course, champion the Adventures of Bulletproof and Private Eye, which you can also check the link in the description below for your updates on when Man of Our Times comes out. And also check out our Twitter page where I'm always constantly getting into mischief. And I'm sure you'll appreciate that. Let's see. Wednesdays, I usually like to do reviews if I can. Again, I'm doing a lot of reviews lately. This is a great year for movies. We already had Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which came out, which I thought was very good. I feel bad it didn't do well. Creed 3 was also very good. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming up next month. I'm going to be reviewing that. Looking forward to seeing that. Looks like it's going to be a heartbreaker. Looks like, I don't think they would have revealed anything in the trailer that was a spoiler. So when you see like the sad faces and stuff, I don't really know what that is going to revolve around, but apparently there's going to be quite a few hankies in the audience. And of course, we got the Flash. Looking forward to that one. Seeing what kind of movie we get out of that is going to be interesting. And of course, we'll be chronicling all the upcoming news that there is on all these projects going forward. Again, with the Jonathan Majors case, a lot of people on this case, especially because how Ezra Miller got basically the kid glove treatment, so to speak, in such a way that Jonathan Majors isn't getting. So there's that. All right, until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.